And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. So, the title of this video is Why Gamify Pokemon, and normally I go live every Thursday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but there was a lot of little things that I want to touch base on, and I was like, I don't know if I want to touch base with them on Thursday, so I'm going to do a bunch of stuff today. Real quick, Greninja UPC was released today. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that. We saw our first ever black label trophy card got graded. I'm going to let you know my thoughts on that. But before I get into that, like I said, those aren't really big topics. This probably won't be that long of a video, but on Saturday, the worst possible thing that could happen for a Pokemon collector, investor, flipper, scalper, player, whatever you're going to call yourself, on whatever day of the week happened to me on Saturday. So at 11:30 a.m. I did my last packaging for the post office. So 11:30 I was down right here in my office at 11:30 a.m. I packed up all my last orders to get for to go to the post office right before they close at 12:30 on Saturday. 2:30 p.m. So right around, call it 2 hours later, I come downstairs right off to my screen right here. I walk down my stairs, do a couple steps, and just splash, splash, splash. Yes. The worst possible feeling for any Pokemon hobby enthusiast, walking in standing water in my basement. So, instantly, I do not know where this water's coming from. There's this area, so my basement's two parts. This half where I'm at right now is, I call it the furnished part. It's not really furnished. There's painted walls, there's ceilings, and some old paneling that I painted with white paint. That I don't even know when they put this up. Maybe in the 80s, like the previous homeowner. But it's my office area, and painted floors, and it's concrete floor. It's not tile or anything. And then on the other side of that wall is my furnace, my hot water tank, and all the piping for bathroom, kitchen, you name it. So I screamed to my wife. My wife, no clue. What's going on? What's going on? I'm like, come down right now. She comes running down. She's like, where's the water coming from? I'm like, I don't know where the water's coming from. So I run on the other side. I'm looking up. I'm looking at all the pipes. I don't see any pipes leaking whatsoever. It is raining, but I've never had water in my basement ever since I've owned this house. Knock on wood. So it's not water in the basement from the rain. No clue where it's coming from. I look underneath my hot water tank. My hot water tank had rusted out. The entire interior of this water tank busted out. Water was just pouring out, and your hot water tank is constantly being fed by your water supply. So I look down and the water is just pouring out. So real quick, I shut off the water to the hot water tank. I real quick shut off the water to the main of the house. I run into my garage. I grab my shop vac. I start shop vacuuming up water. I'm everything you could do. I'm just scrambling at this point. My wife is pulling every single towel we have in the house, throwing the towels on the ground, trying to soak up water, trying to figure out what the damage is. Thank God for Pokemon. And the reason why I say thank God for Pokemon is because if it wasn't for Pokemon, I would not have been in my basement at 11:30 to see that there wasn't water, and then I wouldn't be back down in my office area at 2:30 to do more Pokemon stuff. Luckily, I must have just caught the hot water tank leaking because it didn't do any damage. It got through a little crevice under the wall, and the water made it out. It hit a little bit of the drywall. Nothing crazy. We were able to shop vac it all up, but I figured out the leak. I did the calculation. It was leaking about 9 gallons an hour. So it wasn't the bottom of the hot water tank just completely gave, but it probably made a decent hole in the bottom of that hot water tank, enough to pump out about 9 gallons of water an hour. So luckily I was home. I came back down. There was probably 15, maybe less, maybe 10 gallons of water, so it probably just happened. So cleaned it up. everything in this basement is raised. It's not raised a lot. Probably the thing that is the lowest possible thing in the basement is the bottom shelf of this rack. So that bottom shelf gives you that much. The water hadn't made it there yet. I didn't even realize it. I have a like real slight deviation in my floor where the water kind of pooled a little bit. I mean, we're not talking like this crazy slope, but just enough that the water spread out over a large enough area. Wasn't that super deep in water. So if it wasn't for Pokemon, I would have had no reason to come down into my basement. And if I didn't come out down into my basement, who knows how much water could have potentially rose. It would have damaged potentially everything in my basement. I could have been looking at, I mean, in a worst case scenario, it could be just catastrophic for all my Pokemon product. Not a single Pokemon product got wet. So, freaked out, shut off the water, cleaned up, called the, like I have an oil, so I have oil furnace and oil hot water tank. The oil company came out, they replaced the tank on Monday, and it just is what it is. I got a brand new hot water tank. I don't know how old my old hot water tank is. The only thing that I can see was my hot water tank's in my basement, so it stays in good condition, and it gets serviced yearly, but there was one service tag. There was a bunch of service tag, but the oldest service tag on my hot water tank was from 2004. So I know at least at a very, very bare minimum, my hot water tank was at least 23 years old, at a minimum. And because that service tag my tank could have been older than 23 years. Could have been like a 25-year-old tank, and just given enough time, the bottom rusted out. But I will tell you, as a Pokemon hobby enthusiast, to walk into your basement where all your Pokemon product is kept, to instantly step in about an inch of water is not a good feeling. Nothing was touched. Thank God. The crazy thing is we had plans to go out to like a beach area and visit family, but both my kids, because they are in daycare, they both got hand, foot, and mouth. So I've had one hell of a weekend. I had my poison ivy, you know about. If you watch this live on Thursday, I told you I had poison ivy. My kids had hand, foot, and mouth. The only reason we were home on Saturday at 2:30 was because we didn't go see family because our kids had hand, foot, and mouth. Everything somehow happens for a reason. Does it feel good to have to replace your hot water tank? No. Does it feel good to have to pay somebody to come in and swap out your old tank and put in a new one? No, that doesn't feel good. But with all things said and done, all things considered, I made out okay. Very, 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 very scary to walk down. And, I mean, I don't even know. If I was gone, let's say I was gone from when I went to the post office at 12:30 and we came back at like 6 p.m. So that now gives us a potential 6-hour window where water would have just been leaking into our basement. You know, it could have been catastrophic, you know. It really made me reconsider like where I've already there's some empty racks next to me. I've already started to rearrange some racks. On the bottom rack I now put totes. So for a height, we're really getting into the nitty gritty. But guess what? You're here, baby. You're locked in. So you're messed up. So my totes are on the top shelf. Now my totes are on the bottom shelf. So if I ever did get flooding, the totes would hit that water first. Where I had some expensive products sitting on the bottom, and you don't even really think about it. And now I know. Never do that again. So, listen, everything happens for a reason. But if you guys could take anything from my experiences, make sure if you do have totes, you're not a fool like me and put the totes at the top shelf, put the totes at the bottom shelf. So now I got that. And then I moved lower dollar amount stuff on the bottom shelf. I'm looking over to my side. I'll show you. I moved. I got way too many of these card saver ones. I got, you could get them whatever. They come in the orders of 2,000. So I have boxes of card saver ones. Those are now on the bottom shelf. Hess trucks. I got some Hess trucks over there. The Hess trucks made it to the bottom shelf. The Hess trucks don't have to be on, no comics on the bottom shelf anymore. Nothing that could potentially be damaged. There is one thing on this shelf that could maybe go. So this is on that bottom shelf, which I don't know. You guys, You guys know what this is? This is still on the bottom shelf. This has to move up. So this is, if you were like an organized Play Store, this was what you would have got for like your pre-release of Scarlet and Violet. So this is still on the bottom shelf. So if like you're a Play Store, this is like the original Scarlet and Violet, like, you know, all the stickers and stuff. This is the box it came in. It's got like, this is like your window display for Scarlet and Violet. Like if you're a game store, like a Ultra Pro Pokemon thing, some sleeve, I don't know. Anyways, that's on the bottom shelf. That has to go up. But other than that one cardboard box that I just pulled off the bottom shelf, like, nothing else I'm worried about. And like I said, Hess trucks might be made out of cardboard, but there's no money in Hess trucks. That's my oldest Hess truck that I have right there. But anyways, so wow, made it 10 minutes in the video telling you about how my hot water tank leaked. Welcome to Pokemon content at its finest. Listen to somebody's hot water tank leaking. You know, a lot of people make 10-minute videos. I can't get through a hot water tank without going over 11 minutes. Anyways, that's the first thing. Second thing is, we could either talk about the new Greninja UPC that is just released, or we could talk about the new Black Label card. So I will do this. I will minimize my screen like this, and let's do this. Alright, so if you guys do not know, this was released today. If you go on pokebeach.com, you can see this Charizard, wow, I just said Charizard. This Greninja UPC was just released, or it's going to come out in, I think, November. I don't know. Maybe November. I don't actually know the date. But either way, it's got 2 Greninja promo cards, just regular EXs, and then this Greninja card, it looks like it's the same one, but it's a metal card. So if you look in the thumbnail of this video, we've had 4, like, metal cards in the past. So the Pikachu metal was one, the Charizard metal was one. So both these, the Pikachu and the Charizard, they both came out of the Celebrations UPCs. And then there was the Arceus V. The Arceus V was the premium collection box that was available exclusively at GameStop. And then you have the Mew EX. This was the exclusive for the 151 UPC. So those are the 4 metal cards we've had in the past. Now the 5th metal card is this Greninja EX. People love Greninja, right? You see how Twilight Masquerade is doing. Speaking of heat check, if you want to go on Hills, I'm not going to pull it up, but Hills Wholesale Gaming for cases of booster boxes is now at 708. Listen, time out. I know you did before, you keyboard warrior, you're out there. I hear you. You're typing away. I fucking know. I know you could get booster boxes for cheaper than Hills right now. You could probably go on eBay, to be honest with you. I think I saw booster boxes on eBay for like 103, 104 yesterday. Please don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you that we're doing Hills as the heat check. Cases are now at 708. When I started talking about cases, they were at 596. Then they went to whatever, 618, then 630, and now they're up to 708. Twilight Masquerade keeps ticking up. Anyways, like I was mentioning, that Greninja from Twilight Masquerade absolutely being stonked out. Everybody loves Greninja. These cards, for me, they don't do it. This card, base set reprint for Celebrations. The Charizard, the big bad, big daddy, big dick player Charizard, you might as well call it. These are 2 huge promos, especially the fact that you got both of those in the Celebrations UPC is huge. This Arceus V, okay, some people don't like it, I get it. This Mew EX, still a sweet card. This Mew EX was like, you know, beloved, I would call it. This Greninja EX doesn't do it for me. This Greninja EX doesn't. Why? you think about normally like the promos that come with UPCs, they're usually pretty exclusives. The celebrations, while I'm not talking about the metal card, so this card is the metal card. The other two promos, when you think about other UPCs, the celebrations UPCs were the gold cards, the gold Pikachu and the gold Pokeball. Those cards are exclusive just to that collection box. 151. The cards that come with that 151 UPC is the Mewtwo and that Mew. That Mew in Japanese for 151, I'm not talking the metal cards, I'm talking about the regular card. That Mew Mew Illustrator, whatever. Special subset, secret, whatever Cool Trainer Ryan says. I can't even keep track of all the different names for all these alt-art cards. But anyways, that Mew in Japanese, super expensive card. We saw it in the 151 UPCs, so it didn't go super crazy in value, but it was still exclusive to that UPC. These Greninja cards are not like UPC exclusives. They don't do it for me. This product is pretty badass, okay? This Greninja UPC box is badass. The packs, for being whatever, here we are. You like Scarlet and Violet or not, I don't care. We're not going to worry about pack selection. This is a Scarlet and Violet UPC. You're going to get Scarlet and Violet packs in it. Suck it. But either way, this playmat, for the playmat collectors out there, this is a badass playmat. I like it. If you like the Terra-type Pokemon and the crowns on their head, this is a sweet playmat. Whatever. Coins and dice are a dime a dozen, but you still get a cool Greninja coin. Could this Greninja coin have just been in a single pack blister and nobody would have cared? Probably. Do you get cool Greninja deck sleeves? Yes, you do. But really, people are going to want this product for the promos. And the promos, they just don't do it for me. They don't give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. When I look at the 151 UPC and I see the gold Pikachu, or the metal Pikachu, the metal Charizard, and then the gold Pikachu and the gold Pokeball, that gives me the warm fuzzies. With the 151 UPC and I see that metal Mew, and I see the Mew, special illustration rare, and I see the Mewtwo special illustration rare, it gives me the warm fuzzies inside. Even that Arceus box, I liked it better than this. I am super disappointed in this. I don't understand, you're putting out a premium product. It's in the name, right? It's not just a premium product. It's an ultra premium product. Ultra meaning better, maybe. Don't Webster Dictionary that. Either way, ultra premium should be ultra and premium. See what I did there? This just doesn't have an ultra premium feel to it with these promos. Huge miss on Pokemon's behalf. If Pokemon did put in exclusive promos, I'm going to say something that is going to be a little triggering for people. If Pokemon didn't make their most, how they had their most recent Greninja box and Kingdra box, just out right now. That Greninja promo, if they didn't make that collection box and they literally just plucked out that Greninja promo and put that baby in this product and said, nope, there's no such thing as Greninja EX premium collection boxes or Kingdra EX boxes. If they did this Greninja UPC and they used that Kingdra EX as one of the promo cards and they used that Greninja EX as one of those promo cards, if those were the promo cards and then they took that full art card and maybe they made that the metal card and they did something cool, this is a slam dunk product. This isn't a slam dunk product because that didn't happen. This is weak. Alright. Like I said, I only got a couple things to talk about today. I wanted to do a quick live because I have an actual topic for Thursday, but I'm going to try my best to not to type in or go into it too much. And then next topic for today is, haven't even got into the gamification of Pokemon Invest. Maybe this is going to be a long video. This is supposed to be a 20-minute long video. This is going to be a long video. Either way, if you guys do not know, a number 3 trainer from Worlds this year was graded by Beckett. Black Label. First ever trophy Black Label we've ever seen. People are already starting to speculate, what is this going to mean? I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, Buttercup. I wish I knew. One, I'm too broke boy to be in the market for trophy cards to begin with. And second, I'm definitely too broke boy to be in the market for black labels. I'm in the market to be selling black labels. Definitely, I'm not in the market to be buying black labels. I'm not going to hate on people. If you like black labels, let that be you. That's not a market I dabble in. Trophy card market, not a market I dabble in. Broke boy. Broke boy, broke boy. But what's this going to mean? Is this going to be the most expensive number 3 trainer, the black label premium? My instant gut feeling should be, no, I don't think that this should matter because it's just a number 3 trainer. It's a full art. Yeah, it's going to be expensive, but do I think that this card should hold a premium over a PSA slab? My gut feeling says no, but my lizard brain is telling me no, it's going to be. This is probably going to be one of the craziest premiums we see of any trophy card. So any trophy card that gets graded out of this world, so 2024 Worlds, this might be the premium, and it will be very, very fascinating to see if the number 3 trainer ends up selling for greater than the 1 trainer if the 1 trainer doesn't hit a 10. Does the black label now hold a premium over maybe a PSA 9 number 1 trainer? Way too early to start speculating on this, but if you are buying number 3 trainers to begin with, you're already part of the flex culture. Flex culture meaning you're flexing your wallet because your wallet is so heavy that when you're flexing on people, you're taking your wallet out and you accidentally drop your wallet and you crush somebody. This is a type of flex that we've never seen before. Again, too broke to own this card. Definitely too broke to own black labels. So do I think it's going to carry a huge premium? While I don't think it should, I'm telling you, I think it will. This is a market we live in. This is a world we live in. This is a hobby we live in. This is Pokemon. Anyways, so that's those two. So now I covered the thumbnail. So the thumbnail is not really quite clickbait. Now to go to the title of this video is why Gamify Pokemon investing. This is a good topic. Something I maybe could have touched base on Thursday's live, but I wanted to talk about this so I could get in on Thursday actually do my actual topic. So one of the reasons I gamify Pokemon is because I think this hobby, a lot of people, I've heard people talk recently how sometimes Pokemon could get tiring, or they could get wallet fatigue, and all these million different things that could happen in this hobby to make people kind of be less engaged. But as you're gamifying Pokemon, you don't even have to gamify it with a huge group of people. You could just gamify it by yourself. And I'll give you an example. It's either today or yesterday. I can look at my phone. I picked up an Arceus Hollow Charizard. Right? Super beat up. At auction. 99 cents. It was $1.99 shipping. Or maybe less. It was $2.80 for an Arceus Charizard Hollow. Again, there's a couple. There's the Hollow Charizard, and then the Arceus had the Cracked Ice promo. This is not the Cracked Ice promo. This is just the regular one. 99 cents. So you could hear by that price I just mentioned, you could already tell the condition of that card. It was just chewed up, beat up, as destroyed as you get for a card. But I want it because one of the things I do in this hobby is by gamifying this hobby for me is I like to go and do things that are a game for me. And that game is I'm going to try to send that card away the PSA, and I'm going to try to get a PSA 1. Because if I could grade that card for $15 and get a PSA 1, in my heart of hearts, I think a PSA 1 Charizard from Platinum Arceus is going to sell for greater than $18, and I'll make money. And it's a game. That's all this is to me. A lot of the stuff I do to keep myself engaged is a game. And sometimes you're the only one playing that game. Other people are not playing with you. But something is happening in this hobby right now where it's a game that a lot of people can play. So if you guys are not in the Rattle Discord, shout out to Mr. Rattle Pokemon. In the description below, if you look at the very top link in this video, is a link to the Rattle Discord. Rattle actually gamified just this, just Pokemon investing, Pokemon flipping. So in the Rattle Discord, Rattle just threw out a challenge for people. you go on to Fanatics. So Fanatics used to be PWCC, whatever. Bought out by Fanatics. New name. For today's video, we'll call it PWCC. Go on PWCC, spend $100, and you got to keep all the cards on PWCC, and then it's whoever could turn that $100 after 365 days and who can make the most money. And for me, when he told me about that, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm instantly in that. I love games. And to spend $100 on Fanatics, and then, so what I did was I just bought 5 cards. It ended up being like $94, and then I instantly put them all up for buy it nows. And then I'm going to try to sell those cards and then keep rinsing and repeat every week and see what I could take $100, and after 52 weeks or 365 days, see what I could turn that $100 into. Knowing this hobby, probably turn that $100 into a $60, but turning $100 into $60 might actually still be enough to beat a lot of the people in that challenge. So, but that's just one example of what Rattle did. If you guys want to join this, it's fun. Go in, like I said, the link for the Rattle Discord. It's the first week. You still have plenty of time if you want to, jump in. The only rule is everything you buy on Fanatics, you just keep it on the platform. So I bought everything at auction Sunday night, and then now everything is up for buy it now. And then I'm hoping it sells, and I'm just going to keep rinsing and repeat that money and see what I could turn it into or what I could evaporate that money into. And you'll kind of just see like a lot of the people's plays. There's already a spreadsheet. You can see what people are buying, and kind of get an understanding of people's thought process. And there was a challenge to that. The challenge was only spending $100. Like, I saw a lot of cards. I'm like, ooh, this could be an easy, turn and burn. But one, you're stuck to the platform, so there's already the challenge there. One of the good plays is to pull off PWCC and then sell it on a platform that has maybe a little bit more liquidity, like an eBay. But with the way the rules are written, you can't do that. So then you're challenging yourself. Do you take all that $100 and do you buy one card and then just try to make, say, 20% on one card, or do you try to spread out your money and then maybe have 5 cards and then one card will sell and one card won't, and you just keep turning and burning that inventory? It's just fun. So much of this hobby, whether you realize you are doing it or not, you are just gamifying this hobby. Now, unfortunately, gamifying Pokemon Investing does get a bad rap, because I think a lot of people's brains, when they see this title, they instantly go to a more predatory platform like a Whatnot or something, where people are gamifying Pokemon by mystery slabs or mystery bags or super predatory products like that, where people, listen, a lot of hot takes, but you know what I mean. I think that's where a lot of people's brains instantly go. But the way I gamify this hobby is just buying stuff that I like and trying to just flip stuff. And I got a lot of when I look at what I'm doing, even Pokemon Investing, Pokemon Flipping, for me, just so much of it is just I'm gamifying everything, is turning this into a big game. I don't know how people get burned out. I do. I shouldn't say that. I understand why some people get burned out, but I always ask, there's a couple questions I'll always ask if I do have the opportunity. It's well, what are you doing? And number 2, do you have a community around you? Do you have people around you? One, the people alone are going to help lift you up. Anytime you're feeling burned out, this hobby, this group of people that surround us, I hate using the C word, the community word, so I'm just going to use cunts. A lot of cunts in this hobby. All the cunts come around, and they lift you up, and sorry, they lift you up. I think that C word's better than the community word, but either way, sorry, it is a better word than community, but either way, the people around you kind of just bring you up and make you want to be more interactive in this hobby, and then just figuring out what you're doing and make little games of it. The way I listen to a lot of people talk about their plays they're doing, I think a lot of people are gamifying this hobby, whether they know it or not. I hear so many people, yes, I'm going to say the B word, the buy word. A lot of people are on buy, trying to, source some, more niche Japanese cards and trying to do that graded play. And even though that Japanese market's getting a little oversaturated, and then especially with Japanese market kind of popping a little bit. Now you have PSA graded out of Japan. It's getting a little bit harder, but either way, so many people try to gamify that system, which just is by trying the source cards from Japan, especially. And then, like, you hear so many people talk about population reports. I think the reason why people talk about populations is the obvious, of course. Like, lower population usually means you don't need as much demand because there's not as many of the cards out there. So in theory, you don't need a gigantic buyer pool for this card. Maybe you only need like a buyer pool of 5 or 10 people, but 5 or 10 people could sometimes be enough to see crazy gains where, you know, those 5 or 10 people will carry low pop cards super strong. But even in that sense, the low pop, it is a way of gamifying this hobby, because you're gamifying in that reward, which is a low population card. Or what I like to do is first to market. First to market, you could be talking about super mass, super overgraded. So the complete opposite of low pop. First to market race is there's a million of these cards exist, and you're playing a game now that you think in your head that the first to market plays are going to carry the strongest premium, and then, you know, those, you know, first realized prices, first to market prices will potentially be the highest that card sees for a very long time, because more and more cards are going to hit the market. The more cards that hit the market, you know, saturates the market, it dilutes the market. Then the buyer pool, even though it's a massive buyer pool because you have a lot of modern chase cards, we have a ton of people trying to go in, even that many people isn't enough to eat up all this supply, and so you just see prices stagnate. That's not the case all the time. We've seen it happen, especially in Sword and Shield. A lot of first to market plays didn't really pan out because prices ended up going way higher given enough time. Garantina V from Lost Origin, great example. That card at release was selling for way less than it is right now. Another card that's a perfect example is the Moonbrown. Everybody wants to talk about Sword and Shield. Everybody wants to talk about the Stonk card of Sword and Shield, the Moonbrown. Obviously, the Moonbrown at release, the prices were way lower than they currently are today. So even with massive supply hitting the market, that card bucked the trend where first to market plays you might not have actually done well. But I would say that those are definitely the outliers or the exceptions, where the normal is what I just explained earlier, is that first to market. First cards to market see the greatest premiums till eventually oversaturation, until given enough time. Now this is that awesome thing about this hobby. That's why we are so, one, spoiled, but number two, blessed, that this hobby's so beautiful that given enough time, even with huge populations, huge oversupply, given enough time, demand seems to be strong enough to buck the trend of all these cards and to eventually get them to start ticking up and make, you know, till eventually they're more valuable. All right. So anyways, told you this Tuesday night is supposed to be the short live. Thursday night is going to be my actual topic, but I want to get a couple of these things off, like just get these topics out there. I want to talk about that new Greninja UPC. I want to talk about that Beckett Black Label. Anyways, I will put this up there just so you guys, if you guys don't know what this is, you can go back to the beginning of the video and you can watch that. If you don't know what this is, you go back to the beginning of the video. But now we are going to read the chat. If you guys have any questions, now is your time to ask. I know this wasn't for a PK, this was not a crazy long live. This is actually a longer live, or a shorter live. The Green Shiz, good to see you, Joshua. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to probably forget somebody. Nope, I don't think so. So it was me, the Green Shiz, Bearski, Basic Trainer, and Retrospecs. Between the 5 of us, we split the price of a heavy base set unlimited pack. Dan Ketchum Collectibles was selling it. Everybody came on for the D-Gen live stream. Again, you had to be in it for it was like a 5-hour live stream. We opened up that heavy unlimited pack at like the 3-hour mark. But anyways, it was a heavy pack. Dan gave us the friends price, $100 per person, $500 heavy base set pack. We ended up pulling the Venusaur. We sent it away for graded. It hit the PSA 9. I cracked it, resent it. Josh, we haven't got the grades back. I sent it away at bulk, but it is currently away at PSA. I also have the other cards there too. I got to figure out what to do with those. I think we had a Squirtle or something. That might have to get sent too, but my goal is crack that Venusaur, It was a PSA 9. I'm going to get it back. It's going to turn into a PSA 8. I'm going to crack that PSA 8, and then it will turn into a PSA 10. Don't ask me why this is. Don't ask me why this is the rule. I just know how PSA works. It's going to go from a 9 to an 8, and mark my words, the next grade will be a 10. So unfortunately, we will probably have to get that 10 out of the way. So Katie, good to see you, Katie. She said, surprise vid from PK. Let's go. Yes, Katie. Yes, Katie said, absolutely terrible to hear about your hot water tank. It was not a good feeling to come in this basement and just start splashing around. I don't even know. I don't even know what I sounded like. I could look through. I don't even want to look through the camera. Probably like scream like a girl. My wife thought the house was burning down the way I screamed. She came running down. But then we still got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So we're in the basement. I got stairs. I can't have them coming down the stairs. So then we have to close the door. You hear the kids crying up there. My wife's all stressed out. I'm stressed out. It was that probably 30 minutes of just pure panic. And in my head, I'm just like, water in the basement. This is worst case. Luckily, listen, this is a Pokemon basement. I got a dehumidifier. It's a heavy-duty dehumidifier. It runs all the time, never shuts off. So it's just, so my dehumidifier has like, call it sensitivity settings. I don't know like the science behind it, but I usually keep it at a 4, but I cranked it all the way to like the highest sensitivity. Is it highest or lowest? I guess technically highest sensitivity to a 9, just to like pump up all possible moisture in my basement, but very lucky. So Aaron Scott said, water in my city is expensive. If you don't use any, it's a minimum $300 every other month because we have a bunch of fees, etc. Whoa, $300 minimum. That, where are you in California or places that have crazy drought control? Cheval says water tanks should be changed every 10-ish years. So the tank I just bought is a Bosch, B-O-C-H. I think that's how you spell it. But it's supposed to be like the best hot water tank, B-O-C-H. 32-gallon oil burning hot water tank. It's an expensive tank. Don't get me wrong. Like I could have definitely went cheap, but this tank comes with a 10-year warranty with it. So I don't know. The fact that you're supposed to change it every 10 years and this thing comes with a 10-year warranty, this tank's going to last me 20 years, I promise you. Fat Belly Collect says, I wonder how many people lose their collection to water or fire every year. I bet you it's disgustingly high, or a number that people don't really want to know. Garen M says, I'll be moving my cases a little higher. So, Garen M, I have it over here. Don't turn away from you're going to want to see this. I got my case from Pokemon Center. Alright. So, if you guys do not know, Mr. Garen M, on, what was it? Garen, what day did you message me? Tuesday? Wednesday? Something like that. Either way, I don't even remember. I can look at my phone, but I'm not going to. Garen M message, or was it Thursday? I don't know. Either way, Garen M messaged me, was like, yo, PK, Fusion Strike booster boxes are available on Pokemon Center right now. So I bought my order of 6. This is how Pokemon shipped it to me. They shipped it in a sealed case. Now, do you see this? Thanks a lot, Pokemon. That is not a good feeling right there. This is the bottom of my Fusion Strike case. Pokemon decided to cut the case to put the packing slip in it. Listen, is it the end of the world? No. Should beggars be true? Whoa, my camera's all way off. Anyways, should beggars be choosers when it comes to sealed cases? No. But this is not a good thing. So I had to open up the bottom, and then obviously they cut the bottom. You can see the bottom of the Fusion Strike boxes. Felt so good that Pokemon sent me my Fusion Strike boxes in a sealed case. And then I'm looking, the top looks good, obviously, not cut. And then I was looking at the bottom, and it's got like just tape over it. And then I carefully removed the tape, and then I pulled out my packing slip. That's where Pokemon put the packing slip. But listen, $143 a box Fusion Strike on, I think it was August 15th, whatever, 5 days ago. It was quick. Like, it maybe it was Thursday he messaged, I don't know. Garen will tell you in the chat. Either way, Garen, tell me, I think this might have happened to you too, that Pokemon so disgustingly cut up my sealed case. Would it be nice to have the sealed case premium? Of course it would. Does it now give me more incentive to just sell like a 1Z, 2Z Fusion Strike booster box? It actually does, believe it or not. Now that this is open, I already have my position in Fusion Strike. So now to just have 6 loose boxes, it actually, in a way, is... it's a little like... I don't know. It feels like okay. Like, I'm not super upset about it. But... yeah, so now I could just sell like a 1Z, 2Z of a Fusion Strike booster box, and I could, clear like a couple $100 here and there whenever I want. Though, it is kind of a bummer to not be able to sell that sealed case, because ideally I want to just get that sealed case in the mail, and I was just going to immediately like ship it out. Just get it in the mail, ship it out. So, can't really do that now that it's not sealed. So, Nunu said, So, hold on. First, Cheval says, I guess a couple things. Nick says, you think Paldea Evolved reprint or not? I think Paldea Evolved makes a lot of sense. I mean, the 151 reprint also makes a lot of sense. The 151 reprint there, from what I've heard, I'm outdated on this information. About a week ago that I talked to anybody, but it seemed like the 151 reprint was going to be bundled with a lot of shit. It didn't seem to be a lot of huge. It didn't seem to be huge, so the 151 made the most sense for reprint. The next set that makes the most sense is Paldea Evolved, or maybe Twilight Masquerade are the 2 sets. So, yeah, Paldea Evolved still possible, especially coming into that winter season. So, call it the Black Friday, your Thanksgiving timeline, end of November, December holiday season. I would expect maybe a Paldea Evolved reprint, but that just a Paldea Evolved reprint doesn't mean booster boxes too. It could just mean a bunch of Paldea Evolved packs. Same thing with Twilight Masquerade. Cheval says thousands of houses were flooded with the remnants of Hurricane Debbie in his area. 6 to 7 inches of rain in a day. Yeah, that's crazy. Nunu said, I moved most of my collection to a storage unit several months ago. Freed a lot of space at the house, and it's probably safer they are locked up. Yeah, I mean, assuming that your storage center doesn't get flooded too. Bullfather, good to see ya. So Jester Beat says, I haven't been watching much Pokemon content, but if it was on, but if I was on my deathbed, you know whose video I'm gonna make sure I watch? You, my friend, Jester Beats. That is the nicest comment anybody has ever wrote in one of my comment sections. So I appreciate that, buddy. Pokemage87 said, "Cunt's greater than community." Yes. Jester said, "Cunt community." Yes. Nature said, the word community has been made into a sacred cow that must be protected at all costs. Yes. The most blasphemy, huh? Original, we're going real original Old Testament, huh? Jeremy Lewis says, thoughts on Evolution 3-packs. So, Evolution 3-packs, the 2 that really stick out. Well, there's a couple that stick out when you say Evolution 3-packs. I think Evolving Skies with the Umbreon, great 3-pack promo. I think the Espeon from Fusion Strike, great 3-pack promo. And then I think Brilliant Stars with the Leafeon and the Glaceon. Again, Brilliant Stars, solid set. Fusion Strike, solid set. Evolving Skies, Umbreon promo for 3-pack blister, Evolving Skies. Obviously, that's the winner. But he says, thoughts on Evolution 3-packs. Do you think the 3-packs from Brilliant Stars and Astro Radiance will do well like Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike? Brilliant Stars and Astro Radiance still available on Pokemon Center. I can't even think what Astro Radiance 3-pack. Is it the Eevee? Oh, it is. It might be the Eevee. It is the Eevee, yeah. So, with the, I mean, I think Brilliant Stars will probably do better than Astral just because it's Glaceon and Leafeon, but I don't I don't know. Nothing's going to top Evolving Skies. I mean, Evolving Skies blisters are just carrying that sealed product premium. Evolving Skies packs, Umbreon. Like, it's got too much going for it. None of them are going to touch Umbreon. But the Fusion Strike one was great. There was literally a time when I was talking on this channel and you could do the Espeon 3-pack blister promos. It was a quantity limit of 12 on Pokemon Center. And I was literally saying, you can't buy Fusion Strike booster boxes right now, but this Fusion Strike 3-pack promo or 3-pack blister with the Espeon promo with a order limit of 12 is available on Pokemon Center. And I literally pulled it up on one of my lives and I said, this is probably a good buy right now. If you wanted to pick up anything, this might be one to pick up. So, let's see. Garen M says, think it was Thursday, they showed up Saturday. Okay. He said he hasn't looked at yours. Yeah. I haven't looked at mine yet to see if the seals were nicked by the knife. I'm scared too. Yeah. So mine, luckily all my booster boxes were good. Nothing was nicked by the knife. PokeKid said, PK, I got stop tape. We can fix that thing right up, yeah. Bologane man? How do you say your name? He says, caught alive. Sup, PK? Love listening to the rants. Appreciate ya. Wreck-It Roush says, hey, PK, any tips on staying focused while working on a collection goal? I'm slowly saving/working towards a first edition Neo Destiny binder set, but I keep getting sidetracked by modern sets. I don't have any good advice for that. The only advice I could give you is, Neo Destiny first editions, it's always going to be there, and I don't think Neo Destiny, we've already seen a lot, like most vintage product, we've already seen crazy price increases, so I don't think we're going to see vintage double from where it's at right now anytime soon. So I think you have a lot of time with like Neo Destiny, so if you're working on that goal, it's the same way as I look at Skyridge. Like, I have a Skyridge goal. I'm not in a rush. Sometimes I pick up like 1 card a month. Sometimes I pick up 10 cards a month. It all depends. Pokemon is not a 100-yard dash, it's a marathon. So keep just doing what you're doing. As long as you're, keeping with that goal and it's in the back of your head, and it gives you something to go after too. It's part of gamifying this hobby. I think too many people, they get so hyper-focused on completing something, and then once they complete it, they're just, in a way, like maybe a little saddened because that huge collection goal has been completed. And if they're completing it super fast and they don't have crazy available funds, they're probably burning themselves out in the process. So, and then you also talking about getting sidetracked by modern sets. I think the reason you're getting sidetracked by modern sets right now, Wreck-It Roush, that modern sets usually are going to be at the lowest price that they're ever going to be at. Because if you believe in Pokemon, if you believe in the trajectory of modern product, eventually, given enough time, it's going to increase in price. So you're probably just seeing your best buying opportunities for certain stuff. So I get it. But yeah, if you're working on a Neo Genesis or Neo Destiny first edition binder, just keep chipping away at it. Now, you also said binder sets, so you're in an awesome position where, condition isn't going to be the make it or break it for you. So Neo Destiny, especially if you go to like a Collecticon or local LGS or even, TCG player and stuff, you can chip away a couple of those cards, a few cards here and there, depending on how clean you want that binder set to be. Do you want this binder set to be like the definition of the most near mint possible examples of Neo Destiny first edition cards that ever existed, cards that could arguably be sent away the PSA and hit 10s? Or are you happy with like the 7s? And especially for Neo Destiny, if you are looking for the cheaper route for near mint cards, Neo Destiny is a perfect example of a set, especially in the hollows, that it sometimes makes more sense to buy the 7 or 8 PSA already graded copy than it does to pick up the raw copy. Because Neo Destiny is one of those very, very weird sets where the near mint cards actually hold premiums over the PSA 7s or 8s. So if you're trying to save money, and I know it doesn't make sense. Some people out there are like, you buy the graded card to crack it to put in your binder. Yes. That there's certain examples where that is going to be the cheaper route for a Neo Destiny, and definitely be one of them. So if you are looking for, clean near mint copies, consider buying some 7 or 8s and just cracking them, and especially looking for auctions for those. You could probably pick up a few pretty cheap. Let's see. Dylan said, did you try any Taylor ham when you were at New Jersey Collecticon? Second question, why didn't you eat any Taylor ham while you were at New Jersey Collecticon? Well, I guess you already know the first part of that question. The second part is, why didn't I eat any? What is Taylor ham? Am I missing something? Let's see. So Pokemon Video says, how do you feel about Lost Origin Pokemon Center ETBs? They're still in stock. That's a good question. I'd say right now for Lost Origin Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, if you don't have any, I would just get your set. Even if it's just one, just pick up one to have it. That is going to be one of those products that when it goes out of stock on PokemonCenter.com, you're going to see instant price increases for that product almost overnight. The second those goes out of stock, you're going to see a 25% instant gain on those. The unfortunate reality is you're going to see that initial gain, and then that product will probably be pretty stagnant for a pretty decent amount of time. And the unfortunate reality for a lot of ETBs, if any guys have really, I know a lot of people like to buy ETBs. It's another thing to sell ETBs. Selling ETBs can be really, really, really tough, and especially a product like Lost Origin Pokemon Center ETBs, where there's going to be a lot of competition on the market for other people trying to sell those ETBs. It's going to be a long road ahead of you. So if you don't have one, I say pick up one, but if you already have one and you're looking at them, I would say maybe just pass on Lost Origin ETBs right now, unless you want to try to get that quick 25%, if you think you have the ability to actually sell it and to realize that 25% gain. I think that's one thing people don't really understand, is to realize that gain will be tough with a product like that. But I could be wrong. Garen M says, you always talk about having a collection identity. I don't know that I found one yet. I grade the cards I like and I sell the 10s. Everything less than that goes in the PC. Maybe that's foolish. Garen, there's nothing foolish. I use the word collection identity because I think it's a easy blank statement for a lot of stuff, and I use collection identity for a lot of people that look around at everything they have and they go, I bought all this stuff, I spent so much money, I've gone into crazy credit card debt, and I've gotten fights with my girlfriend or my wife or my husband or my boyfriend or whoever people are fighting with, right? Because of their Pokemon spending habits. And then after all the battles they've fought, and they've gone to Targets and Walmarts and Best Buys, and they followed Pokemon TCG drops on Twitter, and they've followed every single Pokemon Center drop, and they've watched Safari Zone for the best prices, and they've gone on Hills for the best prices, and they've followed P Football P every time he drops something, and they've done all this million stuff, and they are the most hyper actively engaged person that could ever exist in this hobby. And they've bought and they've accumulated, and at the end of the day they look around and they're not, like, what they've bought doesn't bring them happiness. That's when I talk about collection identity. It's like, you've done all this, and at the end of the day you have no fruits of your labor. It's just, you look around and you're like, I wish I didn't buy any of this stuff. It's for those people that I tell them to find collection identity. Meaning, if you've done all that stuff and you've been so actively engaged, and the stuff in this hobby you don't like, get rid of what you don't like and find what it is in this hobby that you do enjoy. And especially if you have too much stuff, one of the best things is the free up stuff, to free up that cash and then buy what you like. This hobby should always, 100% of the time, bring you happiness. The second this hobby stops bringing you happiness, or you're finding yourself with your back against the wall, or you don't like something about this hobby, I could just promise you, you are doing something wrong. And I'm not saying this to you particularly, Garen. I'm just saying this in the more broad sense, and that's why I use the word collection identity. But, like you said, Anything else goes into your PC, maybe you're foolish. As long as you're enjoying what you're collecting and enjoying what you're having, then you're doing fine, man. Trust me, I got a lot of stuff that some people might love to have, and then a lot of people would hate to have. So it's just what brings you happiness, A lot of things in this hobby luckily bring most people happiness. So Navy 7. I think you've asked me this question a long time ago in the past. He said, PK, did you get your free Target Red debit card yet for 5% off eBay gift cards? No. And I think every time you've ever written that in the comment section, I've said I'm going to look into it, and I haven't. So I do apologize. Let's see. So Dylan said, Taylor ham is a popular pork roll product, ideal with egg and cheese breakfast sandwich. Oh, then you know what? Next time I'm in Jersey, I'll definitely get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwich. All right, guys. Anyways, I thought this was going to be a 30-minute long live. Here we are, 55 minutes later. This was supposed to be just get a couple random topics off my brain so I don't have to talk about them on Thursday. And here we are, 56 minutes later. I ranted for an hour. There's other people out there I watch. They're new YouTube video, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes. I can't do that. I wish I could do that. I just can't do it. It's not in me. I'm not made of that. I'm not made of 10-minute videos. I'm not made of 12-minute videos. I'm not made of 15-minute videos. I'm made of hour-long videos, even when I try not to be. But as always, guys, listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you could do me one favor, hit that like button. If you're new to this channel and you've made it to the end of a close to an hour-long live and you've listened to some maniac talk about Pokemon like an absolute degenerate, as always, and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But as always, I'll catch you on the next video.